Hey folks, welcome back to the stream. We're doing kind of a spontaneous game analysis stream with Braden here, who just finished Open Tournament this last weekend. You said it was called like the Excelsior January Open. Is that the name
Yeah.
of the club, Excelsior, or
Yes. Excelsior Chess Club.
cool? I think you did. I mean, you did pretty well, right? Like you gained rating.
Yeah, I gained rating. I don't know if I would say I did well, but that just might be the ego talking of like, anything under perfect's not good enough. So
Right. But where? How much did you gain?
maybe 30 points, maybe 40. I'm not gonna know until the ratings come in.
Mm.
Because like whenever I use the calculators for the Canadian rating, it's always off, always. So I don't know if I'm getting a bonus or not. If I'm getting a bonus, I might be over 2000. So it could be like an 80 point gain. But if it's just under and it's like close enough to my peak rating where I might or might not get the bonus,
Hmm.
um, it really depends. So I'm not sure.
That's cool. I have no idea how bonuses work. I mean, 30 to 40 points, yeah, for me is already obscene, but 80 is just like, yeah, that's yeah. That would be that would be nice. Um, but anyway, so you played 5 games
Mhm.
and they're still very fresh, so it'd be great to yeah, maybe just start going through them a bit. Um, you said you haven't gone through them with the engine.
You promised, or you asked me to promise, and I did. Yeah. It
All
was
right, so
really
that's
difficult, especially the final game, whereas I feel like I have an inkling of something that might have happened in the position, but
mm-hmm.
not sure. But you know,
Gotcha. Um, yeah, well, I think honestly, I think that is best because then it's like you can well, at least like you can first like kind of discuss the game and then see like both what you played and what you kind of felt afterwards. You can kind of test that against the engine, which is I think kind
Mhm.
of like the best thing, the best of all worlds. Especially for someone around your level. Like I think the engine is already gonna be pretty useful, but you definitely do not want to like, just rely on it. And I think you still want to kind of use it as little as possible.
I was actually gonna ask you, like, should I challenge myself and not use the engine this year and only go to you for like lessons and that's it?
I mean, there's a lot of players that just like don't use the engine and they do absolutely fantastic. Like, I
Do
mean,
you think it would like stunt my like maybe engine for opening analysis and that's it, or like even still?
no, I feel very strongly that like you don't need the engine at all. You could absolutely do it without the engine.
Okay,
And in fact, it might even be better because the way we use the engine nowadays, it's like such a crutch. So if you didn't
right.
use it, just hypothetically, you don't have to commit. Just hypothetically.
Oh no, I asked that because there's an Indian player that got to like what was it 2600 or 2500 without ever having access to a computer.
There's multiple now. It's like Gukesh didn't
Ukesh.
use an engine for a long time.
Hmm.
There's this like very new, I forgot his name, like Pranesh or something, who didn't have a
That's what I
computer
was thinking
till he
of.
was
Yeah,
like an
right.
IM. So I
Hmm.
mean, for kids, absolutely, it's 100% possible. But I'm saying just for anyone like that just is still, you know, growing, improving. Like if you just didn't use the engine, you would definitely develop just like fantastic analytical skills because you would just be analyzing positions all the time. And just like you'd always be like double checking everything because you see a position, it's like someone says white is better or white is winning or whatever. It's like you have to kind of look at it yourself. You have to confirm. And you'd really have to analyze it carefully to really try to understand. And then I just think your yeah analysis skills would immediately or just over time just 100% improve.
How
And
about
also you
this?
spend the
I'll
time
make
just like reading books and just like going through like good chess games and like learning from
I'll, I'll make a deal
annotations.
with you right now. I will do my absolute best to not use the engines at all until December. How do you
Okay.
think about that? Is that a reasonable sounding goal?
Wait, what's the
Zero
deal?
engine use?
You just do that?
I just like yeah, I'll just avoid it like at all costs. Any tournament game I have, any online games, any like series that I record for myself, no more engine.
I would say start with 1 month. Just start with a month.
Okay.
See how it feels.
Okay.
You know, like my feeling is it might be like coffee, where like if you give up coffee for a month, at the end I think you actually feel like way more alert. You feel like you don't need it. You feel like you need sleep less. Like you just feel so much healthier. That's my hypothesis. Let's just see. Or you might feel like you're just really lacking. I don't know. Maybe, but 1 month for sure, I think could only be good for your chess
Okay.
as an
So it's
experiment.
only it's the ninth. And there's a tournament, there's gonna be another one of this exact tournament that I'm gonna do at the start of next month. No
Hmm.
tournament until that event, until after that event.
Yeah, yeah. Just until that event, yeah. Just right. Just don't use the engine.
Okay. But
Database is totally fine. Looking at games,
that's what I was gonna
100%
ask,
fine.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is just like looking at like opening explore, like what popular moves are in certain positions and everything.
That's fine. That's fine. Like when you're reviewing like your game or something, and you want to see
Yeah.
like
Because I have
if you
certain
played the
chessable
opening
courses I
correctly.
use as like a library of
Yeah.
um like as kind of like a skeleton of my repertoire.
Hmm.
So that's kind of the goal this year as well, is just like I told you earlier that I all my openings for the year are decided. I'm kind of like banning myself from making like repertoire changes. I made some in December that I thought were important, of things that I just wasn't happy with, and I'm not like I'm gonna lift the embargo like in December. That's why I said like no engine until December,
Gotcha.
is because that's when my embargo lifts for the month. I take a break off of chess, like I did this December as well, and then I reevaluate things. If I spend a full year on an opening and it's not working out, I think that's time for me. I've learned as much as I could, and maybe it's just not working out for me for other reasons.
Cool. Cool. Sounds good. Um, I'm curious to see where this goes. Um, and yeah, so tell us about this tournament. What was the time control?
It was 90 plus 30. Most Canadian events will be. Only exception is something like Canadian Open, something like that.
Hmm.
Uh, so this is by far the most comfortable type of time control for me,
Yeah,
just because it's something I've played since I started playing. So yeah,
it's yeah, getting more and more common for sure. Just like not doing the second time control, which I think is great if there's going to be 2 rounds in one day. Just like,
but yeah,
yeah, ditch the second time control, let players rest for a second before the next
right.
game. Um, and so, well, let's talk about like just the trajectory, because I feel like you started off really well. You won your first game, and you drew your second game against an IM, and then
Yeah,
you kind of like
these are
slowed down a
national
bit.
ratings that are shown on the screen. So like they're not their FIDE ratings. I don't know what their FIDE ratings were. I know the IM was like 2300, I think, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So this was an FM, the guy that's being shown right now.
Yeah.
Actually, all games except for round two and the last round are all FMs actually. So
Oh, so every round you played a title player.
except for the last round. Last round it was like a 1700.
Oh, gotcha. Well, that's awesome. I mean, that's a great experience
Hmm.
because title players are very slippery.
Only
So
-1 against title players.
yeah,
So
yeah, that's
not bad.
great. No, you got to fight. You got to fight. I mean, they're. But the thing is, as I'm sure you've already learned, it's like they're definitely fallible, and
Yep.
they make mistakes all the
Mhm.
time in all kinds of positions. even like simple positions. It's just like,
Yeah, honestly, the game versus the IM and my opponent on the first round kind of made me realize like, yeah, title player like there's like this god status that I originally had that's kind of like shattered
hmm
about title players. So
yeah, yeah, they're all human. Everyone's human, and everyone's capable of being dumb or playing a bad game or having a
yeah,
bad day or just like
and
not
then
feeling
they
well.
make a lot more mistakes than I thought they would.
Yeah. Yeah. So, it's my job to just tell you and like everyone. It's like when you're playing high rated players, it's like, yeah, they're not like, I lose games, yeah, all the time to much lower rated players. So it's just how it goes. Nobody's perfect, And if you're playing Magnus, okay, then like just enjoy it, just like relax, just 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 enjoy it. Even he, like once in like 1,000 days will like hang something. So you never know. So you want to go through this first game here? Just start from the beginning.
Um, what do you think would be the best game to go over? I only showed you like the first two or something, or like the notation of them.
Yeah,
Um, my round 3 and 4 were my losses.
yeah. I don't know. I kind of just want to
Um,
see all the games, so we might as well just
okay, sure.
start with the first one.
So E4.
Mm-hmm.
And I just started playing the advanced like middle of last year.
Yeah.
I would play knight c3 quite a bit, but I'm going off of a Gajewski repertoire
Mm-hmm.
for pretty much everything except for e5, and he
Oh.
recommends this h4 variation, which originally I had some doubts about, but I've I've come to enjoy a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, my opponent plays h6 and plays bishop d7. I remember Gajewski called this an inaccuracy, so that's why I gave it an inaccuracy here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, then I follow up with bishop e3. Nothing crazy. So like this is still like all stuff I'm a little familiar with. I haven't studied these h6 lines as much because you just don't see them as much as h5. So I was still in prep here, and I did some analysis before the tournament of some queen takes b2 stuff and just what happens in positions like these.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like white just has a better position most of the time, even down a pawn, just because like, well, black's going to be coming under fire on the king side, and the a pawn's not really going to speak until much, much, much later in the game.
Mm-hmm.
But then they played c5. So I was out of book here, and I spent a bit of time, and yeah, I was just trying to decide what to do. I didn't think like taking on c5 was reasonable, like, just because this is a much worse version because it can take on e5 at the end.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't really happy with that, and I have to address this somehow because they're threatening to potentially take. I'm not even sure if that's actually an issue. Maybe we can ignore it. I don't know, something like f4 takes and then bishop f2 is playable now that I'm looking at it. And if they take, we can still do something like this. The biggest like interest to me is as long as they don't get the long diagonal too easily, then it should be okay. Even if they do, I think bishop e5 should still work, but that's kind of what I was assessing here.
Yeah, I have wild
So
position. How about
yeah, so
knight gf3? What about this move?
knight gf3, bishop takes g4.
Oof.
Um,
Yeah, I didn't mean to hang that. Hmm.
yeah, that's what I was
Yeah.
worried about. Is I wanted to develop this knight, but there wasn't really a good way to. So
Hmm.
I was thinking of knight b3 for a while, and I
Mm-hmm.
thought his best option is just to push c4. And I was pretty much just trying to go into a position where essentially he's committed to c4, and he doesn't have queen takes e5 in the end, and he can play a position like this. Um, but I thought I was a lot more comfortable here. Um, I don't know if it's I don't know what the evaluation would be. I felt happy.
Hmm.
Um, I don't imagine I'm worse, but it's definitely unclear to me. Like maybe slightly better, maybe even better. Just because, well, we do have E6 ideas, but if they don't play that as they probably shouldn't, maybe something like E6 instead. It feels like we could maybe create some play.
Yeah, you
I'm
also
not
have
sure.
like knight e2 whenever you want, right? You can just like
Yeah, yeah.
keep kicking the queen. So yeah, I don't quite get what black is doing. I mean, I'm really not a Karo
Well,
guy,
I just
but
want
yeah,
to see
c4.
like what happens if they took the pawn, right? That's the
Hmm.
idea of playing knight b3 is seeing if I provoke
Yeah.
c4.
No,
And
I
if they
like knight
play
b3. Yeah, yeah, for sure.
okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was also thinking, do I jump in? I don't really think that's the case, so I don't think I should. Didn't really make sense to me. But I thought knight d2 and like it's kind of like a funny looking move, but it's worth losing some tempos or tempi over just because I think that c4 like this is just a huge liability for them to
Yeah.
weaken their position like this. Would you agree?
Yeah, I mean when black is playing c4, they just kind of I don't know. It looks like a very bad French at that point
Mm.
because they got to go e6 at some point, right? Because otherwise they just can't
Yeah,
develop
yeah.
their knight. And, no, I think knight b3 is really interesting.
Okay.
Did you end up checking the course if it had this?
No, it only had I don't even think it had queen b. Maybe no, I had queen b6, but I think it showed like e6 here or something.
Mm-hmm.
But I put a comment here. It was my first move out of theory, so it also was definitely not in the course. Um,
Mm-hmm.
the looking at it, looks kind of like a reasonable move, but
Yeah.
doing more analysis of it, if knight b3 is as good as it could be, then maybe it is actually dubious because if you're forced to play something like takes or c4, then I don't really know how good it could be
Mm-hmm.
because they're forced to address it somehow. I think, right?
Yeah, yeah. Now you're just starting to just take on c5.
Yeah. So yeah, they took on d4.
Mm-hmm.
And I took with the bishop, um, just because like now I'm not really interested in taking on d4 and going into rook b1 stuff if they take on b2. Like it's a free tempo as well. And then I play f4.
Mm-hmm.
I was expecting knight c6, just trying to keep flexibility. Not really say if they want to play like e6 or anything yet, because if they ever play e6, then I can start like developing my knight, like knight
Mm-hmm.
f3, which I don't think they'd want to do. But
Right.
they actually played h5, and I think this is actually a mistake, like tactically, which is really funny. Um, but I don't think they have a good response to g5. At least they couldn't find one in the game because I'm threatening both like g6,
Mm-hmm.
and if they play g6, I have e6. But if
Yeah.
they play e6, I play g6 anyways, right? Um, so just show that g6, e6, right?
Yeah.
We're winning something here. I'm winning the game for sure.
Nice.
Um,
So they
and
went
if
e6 and you push g6, huh?
yeah, like I thought this was interesting. Like it probably is the best chance for an advantage. Um, they took it. I played knight f3. I wasn't too like in a rush to play something like bishop d3 because I actually thought I might want to play bishop h3 and
Mm-hmm.
target the e6 pawn in the future. So knight f3, like just looking at the g5 square and also kind of intending rook g1 instead.
Right.
Um, and this is kind of like I'm trying to provoke them into some sort of knight h6 where I think this is inaccurate.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because if they play this, then all of a sudden rook g1, it's harder to defend g6
Yeah, it looks
in
brutal
a
for
comfortable
black.
way.
Looks really bad.
So like they actually end up playing it. I was expecting 97, but they tried to take advantage of me playing a different move order. And that's kind of what I was hoping for. Is I thought rook g1 is going to be played no matter what, so I thought I'd just go for this first to like give them room to mess up. and I think here it is a mess up because I just pick up the pawn. I think like I don't know if knight e7, bishop
Yeah.
d3, and then like I doubt that want to go rook h6 ever. But if they ever get a position like this, I don't know if they're happy. Like king f7 to defend the pawn. Like if I ever win back the pawn, I feel like I'm just better, right?
Yeah, for sure. No, I mean you have tremendous compensation. I think yeah, it's just strategically you. The idea would be to just pile up on the G file there, and
Yeah.
it doesn't seem like Black can really uh, defending it because you just have such a like a nice grip over the center. It's just
Mhm.
like nothing like Black can really do to you. So you
Yeah,
just
and
go Bishop
like
D3, Queen E2, Castle
even at like
Queenside,
knight
and
c6, I was kind of just gonna leave my bishop there, I think.
yeah, you just give the bishop. Yeah, it's just like Black's bishop on
'Cause
D7 is terrible. It's like
mhm.
yeah, the knight can like
It
kind of
would
help
actually
Black
help me
defend
quite a
if
bit
anything.
because like the knight could then bishop h3 becomes stronger, right? That was my
Yeah.
idea. Is I'd be happy to just give it up, like bishop h3 here or something.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, here I think yeah we just give the bishop. But why take with this knight? Why not take with the other knight?
um, well, that was just like kind of like a quick move, but mainly I think the idea is I wanted to still cover c5. I don't know if that's right though, because like we do have the g5 square with this knight, and I guess we could take with this one. I just didn't know if bishop
Yeah, just,
c5 like.
yeah, you
So
just
I'd
play
love to make
C3
that
if you need
exchange.
to. It's like
That's fine.
yeah, bishop doesn't really. Yeah, you just kind of like just completely control his D4 square, and then the other knight can always go to G5, and yeah, if
Mhm.
Black gives up the dark square bishop, that's kind of their problem. So
Yeah, I was just thinking like if they make the development move, then I would love to take it. But I guess you're right. Also because like if I take like this, maybe bishop e7 just to
yeah,
tag the
because here it's
pawn.
like your knight on B3 is like not really
Yeah.
doing a lot.
Maybe they try to even like play a5, a4 just to make it messy. Maybe it's
Yeah,
not good, but
yeah, maybe.
like it's already dire position for them. So
So yeah, this G6 I really like. I think it's very good.
that's good. So your rook g1, knight c6. I just go for the pawn immediately because like might as well take it.
So he just
Like they can
castles
kick
and
me
gets out
away.
of there. Yeah, I think that's pretty logical.
Um, yeah, and I thought of this funny maneuver here that starts with queen e2, which creates the threat of bishop a7.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because now after b6, I can give a check and then take on b6 with my queen.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I was expecting king b8, and then I have queen f2. Um, and this I'm trying to provoke b6 essentially, because they can't play a6 because of bishop e6. And they really, I don't think, want to take on d4, especially here. Like it just feels much, much worse to take on d4 now. And now I think it might actually be better to take with this knight because um it prevents bishop c5 and we're making a much more direct threat against e6. I could be wrong about that, but like I'm looking at like a4, a5.
Well, here, yeah, you're
Um
like your knight on B3. I feel like can still be useful on the queen side.
yeah.
So yeah, yeah. To me, I think yeah, that makes
So
sense.
b6, I was thinking of a4 here, but I wasn't happy with it. Like one line I calculated was a4 king a8, a5 b takes, and I noticed I couldn't really take on a5 yet because they have bishop b4 check. And do I want to waste time with c3 when they might have like a4? These lines look messy, probably much better like winning for white at this point with a lot of mistakes already thrown in there. But this was just what I was calculating in the game of like, do I need to do that or can I just like let these weaknesses also kind of speak for themselves and castle long as well?
Hmm.
Because the only activity I see is maybe they go over the c file, but now my king can go to like b1, and maybe I bring my rook over to c1 and play something like c4. Um,
Yeah.
so
Feels
yeah,
like such a
I
shame
just
though
ended up
to give
trusting.
up the A file pressure.
Yeah, like that's one thing I was worried about doing. I just thought like I'm still better here.
But for sure, yeah.
Um, I don't know. It was something that I was like, I spent a bit of time here. I can try to find my notation. I have a bunch of them here. Let me see how long I spent on this one. Nope. Nope. There we go. This was move 20. I spent like a good 6 minutes here. I had like 40 minutes left.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like I spent a reasonable amount of time.
Yeah, definitely.
Um, to decide on this move. Like it wasn't something like I just like blitzed out and didn't think about a4. It's just that I wanted to.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was just a little bit worried that things might not go my way if I go a4.
Oh, I can't go back a move. Yeah, I'm just wondering.
Let me see if I can make you host or something.
Yeah, maybe you can add me as
Give full control. There we go.
Oh, there we go. I think yeah, that's better. Thanks. Yeah. Definitely sympathize with castling queenside.
Like I thought I just maintained all the trumps in the position. That's kind of why I did it. It is like the a file pressure is nice, but I still have g file pressure, and I can still go king b1 and then like rook c1 c4 or something along those lines too. Like I thought I'm still better on the queen side and the king side, even if I castle alone. That was kind of my like intention there. I'm not saying like it's correct, but I'm just trying to explain
Mm-hmm.
the thought process.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's not an obvious position at all.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm just wondering what seems reasonable. But I don't know, castle seems okay. I feel like yeah, you're definitely still yeah, still black's position just feels very passive and
Yeah.
yeah, kind of hanging on the edge.
Yeah.
Um,
Anyways, yeah, the
mhm.
castle, and then they just blunder with bishop c5. I'm not really sure what this move was doing for them, but
Yeah, that's weird.
um,
So knight takes, yeah.
yeah. Like I looked at bishop takes for like half a second, but like knight takes is just much better, right? Just because I'm threatening rook takes g7 right now. Like for
Yeah.
example,
No, I mean, yeah, you just get the dark side bishop. Yeah, I mean, that's a huge blunder. I don't understand. Maybe miss like that you can take with the knight. But
I
even if you
think it was
take with the
like
bishop, you're
the game was much later in the night. It was like 7 p.m. when it started. So I'm gonna give both of us kind of like
Mhm.
the fallback of that, where
Okay, yeah.
we're both
Refer to
pretty.
my previous rant about players and making mistakes. Cool.
But yeah, I think b4 just kind of solidifies everything because like I'm renewing the threat of like rook takes g7. They end up just resigning here. Um,
Nice.
yeah, I thought b4 just doesn't really allow them anything, so I went for it. That's about it, I think, for that one. But I don't know
Very
if there's
cool.
anything else you wanted to.
And then if black goes like rook g8.
I was like knight d4. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I don't. I think the
Oh, I don't know what
position is kind
happened.
of. Yeah. Um. There we go. Rook g8. I was thinking like knight d4 here. Looks pretty
Mm-hmm.
good. Oh, it keeps like switching around.
Yeah, that's weird. Um, okay, well, great game. You played really well, I think.
Thank you.
I thought you played really well. I mean, yeah, G6 like not super easy, but I'm glad you made it. You made this
Honestly,
move.
g6 was the easy part. It was g5 that was harder because
Mm.
I feel like if I play g5 and I don't get in g6 in time, then I'm like lost.
Yeah, that's like, oh man,
Like strategically
what have you
lost.
done? Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, so you had to kind of, right, figure out that you can play G5.
Yeah, so I think h5 was like a mistake from them because of that.
That's cool. No, honestly, I feel like it was a really instructive game actually, because it's like black. I think played very reasonable moves in the opening, but ends up with a really bad position. Like C5, H5 feels kind of logical, but actually just doesn't work.
Mm,
So
sweet.
yeah,
I'm proud of myself for that then.
nice job.
Thank you.
Okay, you want to do the next game?
The I am sure. Um, yeah, so this guy's rating was much higher. I'm sad I didn't win, but what can you do, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I we actually talked before this game, for the viewers in chat. We looked at this line and I talked to him after the game, like, I thought you were gonna play this, and he said, yeah, I used to like a month ago, and then I got destroyed in Spain, so I quit it. So that was really
No,
unfortunate that literally like
you didn't
I
get
was
a
just a few
chance.
weeks short of being able to just refute his opening immediately. But what can
That's
you
too
do?
bad.
Uh, this is his first tournament playing something new against everybody.
Wow.
So
Yeah,
uh,
unlucky.
yeah, yeah.
But hey,
He
you know,
ended
you
up
drew
playing
him
E5.
without any kind of special prep, so that's something.
Yeah, he gave me a good position out of the opening. I probably could have got more. I'm like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Because he played a bit of a dubious move here. I believe bit 94 here isn't correct.
Yeah,
Um, it's I think it's okay if knight f6 and d3 are thrown in, something like this. Okay, I don't know what's going on.
it keeps skipping around. That's weird.
I'm gonna remove full control for you and see if
Yeah.
that works, if that's
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. 'Cause he wasn't
So
doing
I'll
that
just like
earlier.
make a move here. So I think something like knight f6, d3, and then knight d4 is okay
Right.
for black.
Yeah, this transposed like Berlin, and yeah, this is supposed to
Exactly,
be
yeah.
fine.
So like that's what I was familiar with. So when I saw knight d4 here, I was like, oh, okay, we're just gonna get this position. And I analyzed this with a student before, because they play the Ruy Lopez and their opponents sometimes play like this. Um, at the lower levels, this gives you a pretty big advantage, but I still like messed it up and definitely could have done better here. I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
bishop c4 was correct. It felt correct, but
Mm-hmm.
because like if they take, then I can take here and give a check and then take on e5, and this should probably just be like
Yeah.
winning.
Right. Yeah. Way too early for black.
Um, but then they played d6, and then I was like thinking for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I spent quite a bit of time here actually, and I was trying to like directly punish them with some sort of like queen h5. I just couldn't make it work. Uh, Probably a bit too much to look
No, no,
at,
that's
but
that's exactly what you should be looking at. I think in e4. Yeah, because black kind of wasted some time. So it's queen h5. What about f4?
I was thinking of f4. I was a little concerned actually with the diagonal. Like, so if I play f4 and then they take,
Yeah.
and then play something like d5, I wasn't sure.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe in retrospect, this is actually okay. But I was looking at this structure and I was a little concerned that something bad might happen here. Um, because honestly, after taking on d5, maybe they just like go knight f6. And well, actually, rook e1, that's
Q1
bad.
is annoying.
That's really
Yeah.
bad, yeah.
I think they have to
Uh,
take back.
yeah,
But it
but then
doesn't
there's
look
like
so
bishop.
bad. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. For some reason, I calculated something similar to this, but I was thinking I didn't have like bishop e5 check here, which might actually end up being reasonable for us. Um, and I was worried that like if I get a structure like this, then well, their bishop's extremely strong now, attacking d4, and it feels like I could easily become worse in a position like this.
Yeah, yeah, I don't love this for white. I don't quite see how we get the initiative here.
Um, so that's why I went with bishop e3 instead. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I did look at queen h5, and I was looking at moves like queen e7 and like if I could take or anything. Like queen e7, I was looking at like bishop g5, knight f6, and seeing if I could get like queen h4. But I assessed that like they could probably take on d4 and just go up the pawn. That was like a big part of my calculation, but I thought it was interesting. So I ended up going for bishop e3. I spent quite a bit of time here as well, if I can get the
Yeah, maybe we
notation.
could look at that line real quick. So queen h5.
Sure. Oh, sorry. Let me add that. Queen h5. Queen e7?
Yeah. Um,
I assess that queen f6 is probably better, but yeah, queen e7.
Bishop g5.
Knight f6.
Yeah, knight f6, queen
Sorry, it's
h4.
like kind of glitching for some reason.
Mm-hmm. Um,
Mm. Oh, that's weird. I don't know where my notation is for that game.
okay, yeah, that's right. So, yeah,
Oh
it
no, I
could have
found
been maybe something more aggressive here. Because it does feel like black lost a lot of time in the opening with this knight
that.
d4.
That's what I was thinking. That's why I spent. Let's
And you get
see.
c3 d4 in one move. Like,
I definitely did my due diligence. I personally think with my I spent 17 minutes here before on bishop e3. I spent quite a bit of time. Like I was calculating, do I take on do I ever take on e5 and go queen h5 or something, or do I go queen h5 immediately? Can I go like queen b3 here? I was also considering f4. I think 17 minutes is appropriate.
yeah, definitely. That's a good chunk of
Um,
time.
I couldn't find anything that I was like proud of here, so I ended up going with bishop e3 because
Hmm.
I thought it was a safe option, and I think that like I could get a position that I was really happy with out of the opening.
Yeah, bishop e3 definitely seems reasonable.
Yeah,
Um,
so bishop e3. Uh, Obviously I'm happy with them like taking and going like d5 because I'm just gonna give the check, take, and then play e5 actually. So I can like show that takes if they go d5. Oh wait, no, sorry, no, I can't give a check because no. I think I was looking at takes, bishop b5 check, bishop d7, and then like
well, why
knight
not take with
c2.
the bishop here?
Oh no, yeah, no, honestly that is what I was thinking. My apologies.
Yeah, because yeah, that's the idea behind bishop e3. I would, yeah.
Right.
And then I think,
No,
yeah,
no,
you're
no,
just
yeah.
better.
Mm-hmm.
And then bishop takes, queen takes, or pawn takes maybe. But
I was worried of like any pawn takes in d5 stuff.
yeah, no. But here it's different because here d5, right? You can take bishop b5 check. You don't have the dark square bishop problem anymore. Let's say rook
g4.
e1. Um, this
I'm
maybe.
just
I don't know if that works. Maybe.
well because this works in like a very similar line of like I'm trying to remember it. It's like it's in the bird. So this is the first thing I would look at is like I'll show you bishop e5. Ooh, bishop e5, knight d4, takes. Um, Castles, c6, e5, takes, check. And if they play bishop e7, this is actually a mistake, even though it looks like it's natural. You have to actually play knight e7 because bishop b5 check, bishop d7. And then queen g4 actually is just winning the rook.
Hmm,
So that's why I was looking at it there, is because this
gotcha.
is like a very similar idea here.
Yeah, it could be. It could be good.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, that was just like a kind of like a
Yeah.
tactic recognition
But I
thingy
want
or
to
like
say
whatever.
just simple, like just rook e1,
Yeah, that's fine.
knight e7,
Mm-hmm.
bishop d7, queen d7, and
Queen e2.
now here, oh, queen e2, black can castle.
Right.
Classic
Mm-hmm.
trick, huh?
Yep.
So okay, then maybe let's look at your queen g4. Otherwise, queen e2 would just be great for white, but
G4. So if they take, I guess queen
oh, but here
takes
it's a little bit different because
because the bishop's not blocking, so they can go queen f6. Yeah.
queen f6 is gonna be, yeah, a problem.
What if we go and we can't really go rook g e1 check because they just go king f8 and everything's okay.
Yeah, you can start with the rook e1 here, knight e7, and then
We could consider queen g4. But the thing is, they take and then they have rook g8, yeah? Which
Yeah.
is the big problem with some of the lines.
Yeah, maybe like queen a4. Kind of annoying. Seems like it's at least some initiative. Yeah, take on d7, and then like queen a3.
Mm. Oh, because now we can take with the rook, yeah?
Yeah, yeah. So here black is in
Nice.
a bit of a pickle.
And this is like getting close to that
Yeah, Steinitz game. Yeah,
this time.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, not exactly the same, but yeah, it just feels.
It feels like some bad like Steinitz type moves are gonna
Yeah,
happen.
exactly. Yeah, yeah, just like knight c3, even like knight a4. Yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
yeah, it seems like okay, white is certainly somewhat better. Um,
Mhm. Um, but yeah, so anyway, so I went for bishop e3,
yeah,
knight f6. And after knight f6, I was realizing like, okay, there's these types of positions where I take on e5, and I know that this might not be best, but I feel very comfortable in these positions, and I feel like I have a slight edge. Black might not have any problems, but this is a position that I'd happily push against an IM. Like no problem. I don't care if they're on IM. I'd still push in this position. Where I take on e5, I take on d8, and then I play f3. Where both of my bishops are better than my opponents. And it's gonna take some time to like coordinate well, like bishop b6, king e7, bishop e6. It's gonna take them a little bit of time, and in that time, maybe I can create some imbalance. If not, then hey, a draw against an IM is not bad. Because I was a little worried that I was spending a lot more time than my opponent.
yeah,
So it wasn't like
pretty
this
safe.
wasn't to me a bailout. It was like this feels safe, but also like I'm happy with the results of this opening. And to me, like getting a comfortable position out of the opening, like if I didn't want to risk a line that I wasn't sure if it was correct. I definitely analyzed as deep as I could and didn't come up with anything. So I feel like I did my due diligence there. That was enough.
Yeah, I'd imagine black should be okay here, just because the structure feels quite
I
healthy.
immediately almost run into problems though. Um, so they played b5,
Uh huh.
bishop b3, bishop b6, king f2. There's no reason to ever take on b6.
Mm-hmm.
Um, king e7, and now they're running into problems with a4. And I think like I'm already starting to get something.
I see. So yeah, maybe b5
I think,
wasn't great. Maybe they should have just played bishop b6 first, huh?
yeah.
But
Maybe
Braden,
bishop
actually,
b7.
I gotta
Oh, you
run
gotta
here
go, yeah?
in just a sec. But let's continue this um another time.
Okay.
That's cool. Maybe tomorrow we can find some time.
Yeah, sure.
Because position's definitely still very interesting.
I'll show the stream the rest of the game. King e7, blah, 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 blah,
Yeah,
blah,
yeah.
blah. Draw.
That's- okay, so you guys drew here
Yeah, yeah.
where okay, I mean yeah,
I,
I mean here it looks like you're definitely still better.
it feels like, yeah, because I could go like rook a6, f6, rook a1, rook b7, and only I'm better here, like, and go like king all the way to c2, and then like some like knight e3 to d5, or like c4 and try to get it to b5 or something. But I
Yeah.
was like really not confident at this point, and I was I don't know. I was happy with a draw because like my end games needed some work, and I didn't feel like I was going to be in good form for the end game stuff. So I decided to just avoid it altogether and just off the draw.
Yeah, this one would have been I don't know, this one would have been enjoyable to play out, I think. If
Yeah,
I
it's
was you,
weird
but
that I have less confidence in this position than I did when like I played f3 and everything. But
yeah, yeah. Here it's
that's
like,
that's
yeah, you
kind of
put
how
your
it is.
king on c2, bring knight e3 d5. Yeah, I mean you like you set all the plans already. But
Yeah,
okay, yeah,
like
we'll have to discuss tomorrow or something. Anyway, sorry for the abrupt finish, but yeah, I gotta run. But well, hey, still good tournament, and I look forward to seeing where your training takes you without the engine.
yeah, I'll
Um,
do some like end game training this month maybe.
yeah.
I don't know. We'll have to like look at the other ones like tomorrow, I guess. And
There's
see.
there's lots of chess to be done still for you, for me, for everyone. There's just like
Yeah.
so much chess left, but that's good. That's fine. That's a good thing. All right, everyone. Have a good night. See you guys next time. Take it easy.
Okay.